Can a 100-pound female opponent, a warrior, take down, submit Jiu-Jitsu a much bigger, like say 200 to 250-pound male opponent? Well, my short answer is absolutely, it's possible. My longer answer is it's probably unlikely, but we'll see. So I love doing these black belt breakdowns where we take a scene, a fight scene from a TV show or a movie, and we run it through our black belt analysis. That's right. I'm going to put my Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt knowledge to the test with this scene from The Last of Us. It's a new episode. It's season two, episode one, called Future Days, and it's actually the opening scene. So we're going to answer that question, but I need you to stick around for this entire video because what I present to you at the end is much more important. I present a bigger question other than just can a smaller opponent take down a bigger opponent. All right. Now, also, to check out this other video that we did where I did the analysis breakdown to Ana de Armas and Ballerina. Great fight scene there. So let's go right now to the scene, which I believe is in it. We see it in mid-action. All right, we see it in mid-action. So let's check it out. Okay, so the beginning of this scene that we're seeing, we're meant to believe she's in danger. That this female is in danger with the music, and you hear him say, "Get up." We also hear, but don't see, fighting, a struggle, even a punch and grunts. So these guys have already been interacting with each other. Now, she does something here before she goes for a takedown. Get up. Okay, so she does something here when she gets up. Obviously, it looks like she was punched to the ground, uh, landing on her face, right? Which already says something to me is that this character doesn't know how to break their fall correctly. When you're breaking a fall, whether you're punched or not, and you practice it over and over, you instinctually will get your face out of the way of the floor, of the ground, right? You'll look left or you look right. But even before then, you're going to create an angle with your arms. And I know it sounds silly, but it's almost a thing. So if you're getting pushed, most people will try to not fall. But if you've trained in this, like we're led to believe in this scene, then you're going to break your fall and create that angle to where this is your first defense, your arms, breaking the fall between your face and the ground. But if you're just belly flopping like that and you're falling right to the your face right to the ground, that's horrible training. So already there, I'm questioning whoever the trainer is. All right. Now, I also want to say, in doing a little research, that the actor did say that they spent 2 months training jujitsu and some fighting techniques. And we're going to get to that in a little while. But that's already a red flag for me. Also, too, so she gets up, she kind of wipes her mouth, and she goes for a takedown. A takedown is where you physically lunge after somebody. Now, watch this takedown. So the takedown is waist high. And I know with here you can't really tell um, in regards to the lighting, but she wraps her arms around his waist. She has her head to one of the sides, which is correct. And what she's trying to do is take this bigger opponent down to the ground. When you get an opponent down to the ground, it's and your technique is at a certain level, it's an equalizer. It's just an equalizer, especially if you know different techniques to different body parts than the other opponent. But you got to get that person down to more equalized level. Now watch this first. Okay, she goes for a leg here. All right. Now, at first, she has wrapped her arms around his waist. Then she lowers her arms around one leg. This is terrible technique. Absolutely terrible. It's not that people don't do it, they do it all the time. But when you lunge for someone's waist, you're lunging, you're first of all, you're shooting too high. And what I mean by that is you want to shoot your shoulder, right? Her inside shoulder right there. When I say inside, the shoulder you don't see. You want to shoot that shoulder to his kneecap, not to his hip, maybe his thigh, especially since he's a bigger opponent. You have to the easiest way to get that bigger opponent down is you got to make their knees buckle. So here's way too there's no physical way this smaller opponent can get this bigger opponent down with that technique. That's terrible. And then she's hiking up, right? So now you're telling me she's using her upper body as well as from shooting her legs to get this guy down. There is no way. Now, what would I do if I was on top? It's very easy since this is a horrible takedown. You stuff, and all you got to do is put your hands on that person's head or on the shoulders or on the back. As you push them down, you turn your hip and get your own knee, that same side knee, and put it right. So you can see it right there. You put that knee right into their torso, and boom, they're on their back, as well as you're hitting blows at the same time. Okay, so that technique, yeah, he doesn't even flinch. It barely moves him because it's so high. It's a terrible shoot. So it just looks like he throws her off, and that is accurate. Yeah. Okay. So she never injured her head, the back of her head, which is vital in learning your break falls. Is you slap the hands behind you, right, to protect the back of your head. So I don't know if it was a technique here that was used, but we're gonna go on. Now he advances and she brings her legs up to try to kick him, which is 100%. You want to do that, whether you're male or female, is that, again, you're trying to create a defensive line between you and your opponent. So you got your arms and you got your legs. And with your legs, you got your feet, you got your shins, and you got your knees that you can use as weapons. So that is not incorrect. So that is good. Now what he does is that he neutralizes those legs by grabbing the bottom of her pant legs, her ankles, her feet. That's where you want to grab. So he's grabbing her correctly in regards to just neutralizing those legs. He literally grabs both legs, which is all correct, and she's flailing at this point. The idea too, if an opponent has you by these legs, right, and we assume that this, so far she's been doing jiu-jitsu. This is pure jiu-jitsu. Is that you want to retract your knees into you and maybe hook your feet underneath and behind his knees. Get underneath him because you're fighting a bigger opponent. This tactic is not working. He's in total control of her and he's dragging her back. I don't know why he's dragging her. You know, maybe that's all he knows. But if we assume that these guys have been training, then he can stuff those legs and move around to get back on either a full mount or a side control. When I say stuff the legs, you are staple. You're gonna staple down the pant legs. You're gonna boom to the ground, so she can't even lift her feet anymore. We teach this all the time. Okay. So now he decides to uh, go for a choke, and it looks like he pushed down her feet and got in between her legs, in which is called a guard. When you get in a guard, someone's guard, you're getting in between their legs. This is an advantage to the person now on their back. So she is now getting an advantage. So he made a terrible mistake. You he'd never go into someone's guard. I'm going to tell you right now, that is textbook. You gotta neutralize those legs and get the legs out of the way. He never did that. He didn't get the legs out of the way and get to the side of her torso, or he just even uh, you know uh, uh, a knee on belly or a full mount. Then you choke. Here he does this really bad choke. It's first one hand, now it's double hands. So now she puts her hands on his wrist. She's twisting so she can get a little bit of airspace in her throat, which is hey, that's legit. And now he lets go of one hand, and he's gonna do a little ground and pound, and he's going to do a blow to her again, right? Right. This guy is in this scene, right, is absolutely terrible in regards to any training that he's done, if he's done any jujitsu here. When you open yourself up, right, you make yourself vulnerable. She has not let go of that guy's hand. So what she does is she then recoils her legs, goes inverted, and crosses her ankles behind his head. And this is what you would do. This is a solid move, because the smaller opponent is going to use the strongest weapon that this opponent has is her hips and legs. She's trying to go for something. She doesn't know what she's got yet. She brings him in, and really there's no upper body here. It's all her lower body that is in control for a moment, her legs, her thighs, with this bigger opponent, which is completely legit, absolutely legit. She hasn't lifted him. She tried to lift him, it didn't work. She tried to kick him. He neutralized her kicks. Then he goes in between her legs, and he basically makes a stupid error and exposes and gives her an arm. Even though he's lunging back to strike, she takes that moment. Her timing is so good that she throws legs, and she's got him now. She's got one leg, one arm, his arm here, uh, disconnected from his body, meaning that it's completely vulnerable for an armbar, for a triangle. And so she actually, I believe, goes for these in the moment. This is not a complete triangle with her legs at all, but because he's such a bigger opponent and he's got a huge, you can even see that shoulder. That shoulder's huge. She probably can't even get a complete triangle leg hold on him, but she can hold with cross ankles for a moment. So now he comes back up on top of her, which is even better for her, so she can readjust. He hasn't stacked yet. He's not putting his weight on her. He doesn't know how to escape this, so she's using that to her own benefit. She's trying to squeeze him with her legs, sort of like a snake, right? Going and squeezing their opponent. She's using her inner thighs, her pelvis, everything to squeeze and choke him. In right here, she's using his own muscle mass against him, his own arm against him. She's got one leg here, and squeezing. So he's like, which again, completely legit. So now he does what most of the time you see in movie films, right? Because it looks good. He's gonna lift the smaller opponent up. Right now, you can really see that what she was going for is starting to fall apart. There's separation between her and him. He he sh- if this was the real deal here, he would just lift her up and body slam her. End of story. Okay. Which, when I first saw this, I'm like, why didn't he do that? So now she lets go, which is a good move, because she knows she has his arm extended. So she's going to go, now she's going to attack the arm, which is a fantastic counter. He countered by lifting her up. She's going to counter by, you know what? I'm going to give up that choke. I'm going to go for your arm. She regrips or recrosses. Okay, I'm not crazy about that cross, but I think right now, she's fighting for position. She's fighting for this technique. So again, this guy, he keeps falling into her trap in between her legs, and it's a little frustrating because you're just like, is this guy, what's going on here? This guy doesn't know anything. This guy doesn't know any defensive techniques, because there are defensive counters here. But if you're a bigger opponent here in this case, before it gets too late, you just body slam the person. End of story. So now this is a full armbar. She was trying the triangle choke with her legs. This is a full armbar. When I say it, is that his arm is fully extended. She doesn't have her hands in the right place though. She needs to start attacking his wrist. You see how the thumb is at a 3 o'clock? She wants that thumb, his thumb, high noon. Then you've created the fulcrum. Then you break the arm. I buy this up to a point in that her legs and her strength with her legs is a match for his for his upper body there in that position. But where I stop here is that he needs a body slammer. He needs to grab her and see that open hand. He just needs to lift her and smack, hit the back of her head at this point. She transitions and she arm drags him. All right, so this position, and it's not a full correct one, right? This position is called the technique where he taps in, where his arm is behind him like that, and it's up to the sky, and she's manipulated. It's an omoplata, right? But it's not fully correct. Her legs are in the wrong, or are thrown out in front of her. You always want them to the side. There's just a whole bunch of small technicalities where it's just not a full omoplata. And an omoplata, you go from triangle to trying an armbar to trying an omoplata. It says to me, this person has been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time. To be able to counter against this huge dude, a long time. It can happen, right? But it also brings up to mind, well, what about the other techniques, the takedown, the stuff, all that? Why was that so bad? And there's this question here. So this question, so this is a legit move, this omoplata. It's an arm drag, and she kind of goes off her back, rolls up parallel with him and sits up, but her legs are, see how her feet are in front of her? Her legs need to be out to the side. Her knees need to be shooting down to really twist and break that arm. Because right now, she's got no base. She's just rocking on her tailbone. So with her hands, now she's manipulating his wrist. So if she's wrenching his shoulder so much, but she could get a wrist lock right there. Again, this is kind of like not really, this is more for the now this is more for TV show. But then, so she's got that, and then she grabs his shoulder, and she's pressing forward. So she's trying to get the omoplata finish. There, she's not even paying attention to his wrist. She's grabbing his thumb. She's completely out of position. So you're telling me now that she's relying on her core. Her core is so amazing. Her upper body is so amazing that she still has something. She doesn't have anything, especially with the feet out like that. That's just not correct.
Boom, motherfucker.
So now the character comes out, right? And we know that, okay, he tapped. This is a sparring session. They're rolling. It's a fight session, where it's not just jiu-jitsu, but obviously they're striking, they're kicking, they're punching. but she's using the main core of this is using jujitsu. And then the guy says, that's enough. And then her little attitude is like, yeah, boom, motherfucker. And she gets up.
Because I told him to.
Why?
Otherwise, he would have knocked you out. And I don't want to have to explain that to Joel.
Don't do that again.
Okay, so I wanted to play that because I think it's important in regards to the context of the scene. And if we were to take this scene and how I just broke it down, right? It's like, you know, my short answer to this question was that, yeah, smaller opponents can take down bigger opponents, can submit them. It happens all the time. Or in enrolling with students, I'll see an older male student, a bigger male student who just can't submit the female because the female knows more technique. That being said, if Ellie knows more technique than this guy, more ground technique, more jujitsu, then this is totally plausible in all the moves that she's doing. She couldn't lift him up. She got lucky in regards to him being stupid and going into her guard, and she was able to pull off her legs. The legs are the saving grace. With the legs, you're able to go for triangle, armbar, omoplata, and what looked like a really bad wrist lock. I don't know what final move she was going there because her positioning was terrible. And then we get that, well, he was told to pull his punches. That explains why he didn't body slam her. He didn't, when he had the chance to really inflict damage. If he was pulling his punches, she would have been knocked out to begin with because this guy is huge. But the character's stepfather, whatever you want to call him, the Joel character, he told them, don't hurt her. You got it. We're just training. Don't go crazy. So in the context of the scene, which we don't know until after the fact, and it creates drama and conflict for the two main characters going forward, I get it. Everyone's complaining and everyone's kind of moaning and whining is like, oh, another 90-pound woman taking down a 200 to 250 pound gentleman. Jiu-jitsu is made for that. It's made, it is the smaller opponents you have to be so careful with. In fact, I tell my bigger dudes when they're going up against smaller dudes and when we're rolling, make yourself as small as they are, at least to their height. Do not expose yourself because there's too much for them to really take advantage of. And had she known her how to do a proper shoot and takedown, then he would have been on his back. So yeah, it is totally possible. Now, in other situations where it's brute strength against brute strength, there's no question that she would have been rocked. She would have been out. She would have been done. But since in this context, this is a training session, he was holding back. Okay, now thank you guys for watching this whole thing. Please check out all our other videos, our playlists on our black belt breakdown. Here's my final question to you guys. Who is their teacher? It's not the guy that stopped. Who is their trainer? It's not established. Maybe we'll see it later. In reading some research about the video game, it was told that Joel and Tommy trained Ellie. And here, Joel and Tommy looks, the only thing they can train her in is tracking and how to shoot. And, they don't seem like martial arts experts. This is where I have a big problem because there is no way that gentleman, the young guy who was saying, break, was the teacher. There's no way. Let's say he was the teacher, then they're putting together a move here, move there, some stuff that they picked up that they're not really trained. So maybe in that camp, in that settlement, they don't have an official black belt teacher because of the zombie attack. Maybe one didn't survive, but maybe a student survived. So if he was a student to begin with, and now he's teaching the little he knows, maybe I could buy that. I always like these things to be explained somewhat. because someone taught Ellie those moves. You don't just do those moves instinctually. These are high black belt to low blue belt moves, especially omoplata. There's a lot of steps and concepts in the omoplata. Hell, even an armbar, especially with the bigger opponent. So that's my breakdown, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would say, for TV sake and all that stuff, it's it's a cool way to reintroduce the characters. But for me as a teacher, it's like, well, why didn't he do this? Even though if it was training, where's his training? So again, was she the only one training in jiu-jitsu, and this bigger gentleman didn't know any jiu-jitsu? Because I guarantee you, if he knew the same amount of what she knows, it would have been over in his favor. Okay, let me guys know what you think. There'll be more black belt breakdowns in the future. Check out our playlist wherever you're at. Keep your slant fuerte. Gracias. Ouch.